Hey guys, this is Jeff, and I just want to do a quick review on my hunting rifle. This is a Savage Model 11 Trophy Hunter XP. It is chambered in 308, and this is pretty much nothing what it looked like when I originally got it. I was generally happy with it, what came from the factory. It came with a Nikon 3 to 9x40 Pro Staff scope that had a BDC on it in the reticle, and it had this stock on it that originally came with it. The stock is, in my opinion, generally crap, and there's a couple of reasons why, and the reason why I wanted to upgrade it from this stock to this stock, and I'll explain this stock in a second. First thing is that if you look in the inside, it's not solid. It's all just structured ribs. And it's all plastic, so there's a lot of contortions that can happen with this. This is not the Accu stock that this gun can come with. Also, it doesn't have any bottom metals. It's all integrated into the plastic, so there's just a lack of structural integrity with that. So, and it's incredibly light. So the lighter the stock, it's easier to move around, but the less accurate the gun tends to be. It was a free-floating stock, but like I said, that wasn't really helping. Took it out to the range, and with quite a few different loads, I was getting anywhere from a little over a minute, 1.08 was the best I did, to about 2 or 3 minutes. So it was, my groupings per the ammo was pretty all over the board. So I decided to take on the project and upgrade it. So the very first thing that I did is I bought a new scope. This is the Vortex Viper 4 to 16 by 44 HS, and this scope is ridiculously nice for the price. You're spending $550, and you get the tactical turrets on all of them. You get your parallax, and I think it's a 50-yard minimum. It might be even a little less than that because it zooms before that. And then I have, I think it's called the XMR1 MOA reticle, which pretty much, it's just crosshairs, but there's hashes all the way down and all the way to the side, and those are 2-minute hashes at 16 power. So this is an incredibly nice scope for less than $600. Granted, the gun from factory with the scope was less than $600, so the price of the gun originally is right in the scope. But you know, if you want to have a great glass and great accuracy, you're going to have to do that. The second addition that I did is this stock. This is a Boyd's featherweight thumbhole stock, and it's really nice. It adds a little bit of weight to it, but not too much. I think it's like 3 or 4 pounds, which the stock is. But what you also have to add, you have to purchase with the stock, is your bottom metals, because on the XP models, the bottom metals are non-existent. They're integrated into the stock, and they're not even metal. So underneath here is a bottom metal that supports your box magazine, and then that you order from Savage. You call Savage and you say, hey, I want the bottom metals for your Model 11 XP Trophy Hunter. So that's $79. And then you also have to purchase the bottom metal plate for your magazine, which was $19. Call them up. They're really nice. I had a good time talking with them, told them about my project. They got me the things I need, got it shipped to me in about a week. You have to have those in order to upgrade your stock, because otherwise it's just not going to work. So went to boydsgunstocks.com and got this. This is the Pepper Durabond laminate stock. Incredibly smooth, really nice shooting, really easy to hold, really enjoy it. This was $99, so $200 got me a new stock, $600 for the scope, and then everything else is factory except for, this is the Blackhawk bipod. Really good. You can get the Harris bipod, but I've noticed that this one's really nice. You can loosen this up right here, and it swivels this way and also this way, so your legs can stick in the ground and it moves. Really nice. And those was $77. $70 or $79 at Sportsman's Warehouse. So overall, I'm really happy with my setup now. It took me a long time to develop a load. I started with the Hornady A-Max 178 grains, and those proved to be just a little bit heavy for what I'm doing. The best I got with that was 0.9 MOA, which wasn't bad, but that was before I upgraded the stock. When I upgraded the stock, everything went kind of haywire, and I was no longer getting that type of accuracy with the 178 grains. So I decided to get a little bit of a lighter grain and went to the 168 grain A-Max. The 168 grain A-Max was phenomenal. Already I was seeing better groupings with it, with my different loads and stuff, and my load I've landed on got me this grouping right here, which is 0.5 MOA. Almost exactly, a little over, 0.55. So 2 bullets touching each other and 1 small little flyer less than a half an inch away. So I'm looking at sub MOA with less than about $1,500 into the rifle. Less than $1,500 to get sub MOA, which I'm really happy with. Couple complaints about the gun. One, the sporter barrel gets hot really fast, so you have to take some time in between groups in order to get that accuracy that you want. The trigger guard is plastic, not really that big of a deal, but it'd be nice to be metal. You can order those also from Savage, and you can get those for I think like $20 to get a metal trigger guard. Things I love about this gun is the Accu trigger. You can adjust this trigger. I have it adjusted to be like 2.3 pounds. I initially wanted around 2 pounds, but it's tensed up a little bit, so you're like 2.3 to 3 pounds of trigger pull when I run this. And some people don't like this very much, but I love this this safety creep that has on this. I really appreciate this when I'm bearing down, because if I could start my pull and if I don't feel something right, I just let it go, and it's not a big deal. But once you get into it and it's ready to go, it's a very clean, crisp pull. The Accu trigger, Savage has just made an amazing product with that Accu trigger. Okay, so that's my rifle. Really appreciate it. Let me get into the load a little bit. I tried some different powders. IMR 4064. Never tried Varget because I just can't get my hands on it. My buddy is in love with Reloader 15. I haven't tried that, but I tried a little 4896 or whatever the other IMR was, but I have found my sub MOA with this IMR 4064. 4064 is a comparable to Varget. It's a stick powder. It measures pretty good. It's not ball powder, so it doesn't measure as what I really like it to. And then the 168 Hornady A-Max grain bullet, and those are fantastic. They load really well. You have to be, when you're loading the bullet, you have to be careful of those tips, because if you don't have it loaded in right, you'll crunch those tips and then the bullet's ruined. Haven't really had that happen, but I've seen other people complain about it. So just be careful loading those tips. And then I'm using Winchester primers. Winchester primers, for whatever reason, have worked really well for me. I tried CCI and Remington, and they're all good, but once you find a good recipe, you stick with it. The powder load that I'm using for this is 44 grains. 44.0 grains has got me that sub-minute MOA, what I'm really looking for. One of the issues, especially in the world that we are in today, is I'm having a hard time finding some brass. Winchester Brass has got me this group. This group right here was 44 grains of IMR 4064, 168 grain A-Max with Winchester primers, with Winchester Brass. And that worked really well. I know for a fact that as far as factory rounds are concerned, the Federal PowerShock soft points, 158 grains, I was getting a minute with these. So not great, but really good. I was getting right at a minute with 150 grain soft points. I'm building this for an elk hunt, so the elk hunt, 150 grains just ain't gonna do. It's just too soft. So too light of a bullet for what I want to do. So the 168 grain has been proven to work, but this is the 150 grain soft point versus the 168 grain. So you can see the difference in size there. But it does like it. It works really well. So anything else to cover is, it's kind of superfluous. The one complaint that I do have is that the weavers, I haven't replaced the weaver mounts yet, and they get loose. The 308 is such a violent recoil, and these weavers get loose after a while. So after about maybe 30 or 40 shots, I can notice that my scope is starting to wiggle a little bit. That's not good, so that's one thing I need to replace as well. But other than that, covered the load, covered the stock, covered the scope, and I'll get you some nice little shots and stuff of this so you guys can see that. But this is my gun. I'm very happy with it. I'm very confident with it that I can actually utilize this gun effectively to kill an elk at 600 yards. Now, I mean, if I haven't tested this thing out beyond that, and I'd like to see what I can do at 1,000 yards, and if I can get a 6 to 7 inch group at 1,000 yards, this thing could definitely take down a mule deer or even a whitetail at that distance. It's a long shot, but there's enough energy in the 308 round to do that. I definitely have the accuracy built for this. So that being said, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions or concerns, comment and leave a comment, and I'll be happy to answer any of those. Thank you so much.